guys, I hope you have had a great week. I celebrated another milestone, another birthday this year. Every birthday I'm thankful for. And I'm going into a surgery on Monday, really minor in and out surgery, just about 5 minutes, but have about 2 weeks of recovery, chilling at home, no lifting the babies, no driving, that sort of stuff. So might see me a bit more on social media and that sort of stuff because I will be more mobilized, in bed, relaxing and recovering. But I do have my Instagram up here. Why? Because if you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, definitely do. I do post the chart of the stocks with the support and resistance and the float and everything, so you can see that as well as listen to the videos. And I also post some big runners from the week from my watch list. Basically, my watch list is great. You're getting 10 stocks that are guaranteed to be moving that day, which is really important for day trading. And then I like to highlight like Square on the 13th and 14th, where basically it just ran up. It was a 2-day runner. So if you are long biased, great. You know, there are stocks that are pretty much guaranteed at least one is going to be profitable on the long side, if not all 5 of the long picks that I have. JWN as well on Thursday, really rocked it. Thursday and Friday it was good. So just keep these on watch. Definitely check it out. It's really easy to get there. You go to cjandtrade.com, boom, right upper right hand corner. Going to be doing another blog post about market manipulation this week, so check that out. And I've got my tradealike shirt on. Why? Because tradealike is where I will alert the trades that, you know, I think are really going to be profitable. I try to only put ones with like 80% rating that they are going to be profitable for you guys. So check it out. It's a, you know, subscribe as you go type thing with what you're going to be using. And we'll get into the watch list for the week. I've got the SPY. Oh my goodness, look, it looks a bit messy here, huh? So we'll go ahead and we'll do the SPY analysis. I'm on the weekly chart here. We'll pull it back to the daily chart. So you can see that we do have a bunch of lines here. These orange lines, I've been using Stephanie Cameraman's dark pool app. And so these orange lines are levels of the dark pool, either buying or selling. This actually darker brown line is a trend line that I have. So I'll pull it back here. We can go like this and pull it back. Oops. Let's undo that one. So we bring it here. So you can see these are the levels we've got going on. This darker line I had as a downward trend line from January. You can see we broke it back here on the 6th, ran up, pulled back down, tested this upward trend line, dropped below it on my birthday, Wednesday, the 15th, and then surged up. And now it looks like we're testing this upper level, 285.59, and then above that, 286.10, I would say, for breakout. I am more long biased on this right now for the SPY at the moment, because we do have this upward momentum. There's always the China trade, the Mexican trade wars that are going on. So keeping all that in mind, but there's definitely, as you can see, there's a lot of big money that's being traded up in this area. So it's a matter of where it closes, you know, above certain levels, if it's going to be moving. And if you haven't checked it out already, Stephanie Cameraman's stockwhisperer.com, great information for dark pool. It's kind of like getting insider information because you get to see what the big guys are doing with their money. You can see the print. You don't know which direction, but if it breaks a certain level, just like with my watch list, if these levels are broken, there's more than likely going to be more volume, more buying or more selling above that point. So right now I am long biased on the SPY above 285, looking for potential break of 286, and on up we do have this upward trend line. We'll pull it back again on the weekly chart. You can see for 1 year, actually that pulled it back to a daily there. You can see it is in this upward trend. We did break above this downward trend line, and right now if we can go ahead and hold above 284.23, I think it's really going to continue on up here and break, like I said, this level here of 286.63. That's the big one for further breakout. We are at a test point, so we shall see, but overall it's been stair-stepping up. And we'll get into the watch list for the week. you know, as always, guys, I am not a licensed professional, so this is all my own personal opinion. And first on the list, we do have Costco, which you can see this one did end up at the high, 52-week high of the year. Pull it back here, and you can see it's breaking out. So it also closed up after hours. So I would say a support of 225.33, resistance of 225.99. Next on the list, and that one does have 431 million in the float, 34% short float volume from Friday. So we have DLTH, same scenario, ending up at the 52-week high for the week, and a support of 28.21 and a resistance of 28.41. So we'll look at it, the yearly chart. You've got it breaking out over here. 5-year chart, it does show that we could have a bit of more of resistance of 29.16 above that breakup to the 30 levels, and then go on up and potentially test above. But right now we're definitely in upward momentum. It does have 9.9 million in the float, 34.23% short float volume from Friday. We'll go to the next long, ALRN. So right here, we've got a support on the 15-minute chart, I would say a 54.52. The red line corresponds with the red number here, and 54.93 for resistance. I did have somebody shoot me a message on Instagram. They're like, how do you find these stocks that you put on your watch list? Well, it's really easy. I use Trade Ideas, and I have scanners that I have set up, and so it goes ahead and it scans all the stocks, and it, according to my parameters, it generates the stocks that I want to look at and potentially add to my watch list. And I also have that as well for pre-market activity, so that I can see really the ones that are breaking out, high volatility, high volume, and price movement. Those are the things that I'm looking for my stocks to day trade. And those stocks that I generate, like I said, they're 10 stocks pretty much guaranteed to move and have action, which is what an intraday trader is looking for. Like I said, with Square, just because I have it on the watch list and it's you know, it doesn't mean that my watch list is solely for day trading. It can also be for swing trading. So we had Square, right? So Square broke this resistance here, ran up, and now it actually, I had it back here where it ran up, and then now it's pulling back, but look, it's hitting this average, and it could easily continue to swing on up from here. I would use 72.13 as a support, but that's not the next one on my list. ALRN is the next one on the list. Again, 52-week breakout, we had 54.93, 54.52. We look at it on the year, and it's breaking out. Above that, we have the 5-year chart. So really it broke out from 49.37, and then it ran up to 54.93. So you can see these ones that really break out, like ALRM, once they continue breaking out, many times it just continues this cycle. Here we have a breakout, it runs up. We have another breakout here, it runs up. It could easily pull back and then run up again as well. And the lower float ones are, this has 32.2 million and 53% short float from Friday. So this one definitely could run up higher if it does have that volume behind it and the shorts start to get squeezed, which is why I look at that short float volume. However, we're looking at the RSI here. It is up at 90. Last time we had that here, it pulled back just, you know, a little bit. It pulled back from a high of 45.39 and then ended up the next day at 44.81. So 50 cents to pull back down. But it really did pull all the way back down here to 42.86. So it had to range down and then pull further back and then ran up. So you can see stocks are never just a straight line up really, or a straight line down. Very rarely, except for when you're dealing with lower float stocks, because the momentum will keep that surging up or dropping down like a elevator that's had the cable cut. So next one on the list, Hiiq. Had this one on the list before, you guys know, and it's just had a breakout here. So I would put 52.10 as the support and 53.20 as the resistance. We'll pull it back on that yearly chart. you can see here's where I had it as that potential breakout before. So if you guys had gotten in from my watch list at 35, you're taking $18 profit if you're holding it and swinging it. So it could be a swing list, it could be a day trade. It's a matter of how you like to trade and where you keep your risk reward ratio. So this one does have 8.2 million in the float, and it's 56.61% short float volume. Next one on the long list is CRMT, with a support of 75.70 and resistance of 81.95. This one is lower float as well, with 5.6 million in the float and 26.4% short float volume. As you can see, once we have those low floats and those shorts start to get squeezed, this one did have earnings, it went ahead, ran up, pulled back, and then ran up a little bit more. If you guys have questions about what the lines are on my charts, like this is parabolic SAR, we have the 8 exponential moving average, we have the VWAP right here. That's basically what they are. So you can see, again, 52-week high breakout. So these are all on watch for breaking out on Monday, but they could also drop as people start to take profits with the breakouts that are going on. So keep them on watch. TOCA, a support of 802 and 819, 52-week low. So we look at it, this one does have 17.5 million in the float, and it's hit a 1-year low. If we look at the 5-year, actually it was an IPO April of 2017. So this is new all-time low for Toca. Next on the list, Nvda, big short on Friday with right up here, it dropped down. All right, so we have Nvda right here. I'd had it as a resistance of 24.94 on Friday. Again, broke that within the first 15 minutes, boom, ran down and went ahead, and it was a great short on Friday. Still more short biased on this. I think I would say a support of 244.20, resistance of 244.88, and I think it could break down further to 240.88. And then if we look at it on the yearly chart even further, if it were to break that 240.88 level, I would say 236.50. And if it were to pull all the way back to the 200-day moving average, that would be pretty aggressive. I would say 233.50 area. And this one does have 582 million in the float. I forgot to tell you, Toca I think has 17.5 million. Next on the short list, Amat. This was also a short on Friday as well, and then it ran up like the market did. So I would say support of 43.64, resistance of 44, and when you see it was breaking, setting new 52-week lows. Big thing to watch too are the volume levels. Like this has massive volume for earnings. You know, obviously it has dropped below 20% of valuation on the stock. So many times you'll see that those mutual funds are going ahead and pull out of the stock because it's pretty much black and white. Hey, if it drops 20%, let's get out and go ahead and move on to another investment. So if people had gotten in and it hit 62, take 20%, that would be almost, let's see, say $13. So it broke down below that and really has had some selling go on Friday, and it looks like it will continue in my opinion. And they have 998 million in the float. Next one below that is SUPV. On Friday, I would say we have a support and resistance. Support of 935 and resistance of 949. Below that, I would say 913. That's this level right here. We did set a new 1-year low as well, and on the 5-year, let's see, it's pretty much at a low as well for all time. This is an all-time low for the stock, so it's breaking out below the levels of before, which were back here of $9.99. So anything below $10, really, it's a new low for the stock, and this one could easily continue to drop down. They do have 56 million in the float, and I would say the next one on the watch list for shorting is DSP. They have 28.46 million in the float, had earnings, went ahead and pulled back. On our 15-minute chart, support of 1680, resistance of 1712, like the market tanked down, then ran up again. So keep it on watch. It does have a little bit of a gap move up to 1774, I would think, if it does break above that 1712 level, and support level of 1680. I do have a couple on the long watch list for this week overall for swing trading potentially. So PRTK, so Paratech Pharmaceuticals. So this one had a low of 940. We're 80 cents off the bottom, surged up, pulled back, and now it looks like it is in that upward motion. Looks like it might have had a double bottom down here. So I put it on watch. You know, if it really breaks out above this 1080 level, just like this we had this surge right here, I think it could continue to surge on up. Also, PNR. I would look at PNR. You've got a low of, I would say really, I would put a low of 41.30, so $1.50 from here if you were to enter. And it looks like it could potentially swing on up. Let's look at the 5-year chart. It's right in the middle of the 5-year chart, but I think that this one for the yearly chart looks like it's found a support level right around here at 41, and it's in that upward movement, so it could continue up. Once it breaks this downward trend, you know, might even go ahead and draw a downward trend line right here. Hey, look at that. So once we have really a break of, say, maybe depending on how far out it goes, I would say 43.50. Once we have a break of the 43.50 mark, it looks like it will continue an upward movement as long as there's volume behind it. And then final one, Yuma. So Yuma energy stocks have been beaten down, beaten down, beaten down. And if we look at this on the 1 year, you can see, okay, this was almost a $1.83 was a high and low of 16 cents. It is in an upward motion right at the moment. We do have this gap that it tried to fill above 50, ran up to $1 and then pulled back down. It does look like it had massive volume on Thursday. So I would look for this one to potentially have upward movement here, depending on energy stocks as well. This is an oil stock where they do liquidation, but it also, look at this, like this used to be trading. I've got to do a bit more research on this, but I would say long term holding for this one. I've got to look and do more value research behind it, but really on the weekly chart, look at that. The 200 weekly average is 866. So that's a massive upside potential for minimal risk of investment. You know, this is one where I would say, okay, I'm going to park a little bit, just like I've done with hemp, and see, hey, hemp, well, that's not it. That's not the hemp I'm talking about. Hemp, as far as a cannabis stock that they deal with hemp products. So this one I find is a good longer term investment, and it could be easily trading fairly high once that hemp market takes off in the States, and it's sort of a little sleeper in my opinion right now, as far as a value stock. So that's it for this week, guys. Carpe Profit. If you guys are bored on Monday, I will be in bed recovering, so shoot me a message, give me some questions, and watch for my next blog post about market manipulation and what happens with the dark pool and what happens with the stocks after that, as well as my upcoming review of the Stock Whisperers, How to Trade the Dark Pool review of her book. Have a great weekend.